This is our shakedown cruise of the NaSA PoD. We are camping at a friend's house near the Great Smoky Mountains National Park in North Carolina. And let's go take a look at the setup. Okay, so in the foreground we have our dog's little playpen, basically. And then behind that we have the Easy Up with our Honda backed up under it. One day, which will be replaced by an electric truck of some design, hopefully. And in the Honda, you can see there are two coolers. These two coolers are Go Sun Chill. This is a Go Sun Chill, and this is a Go Sun Chillest, the next generation. This one is just a refrigerator and has stuff in it. And then, of course, this one is a refrigerator and freezer. And this one is running on solar power right now. This small solar panel is keeping its battery charged. And even if the power drops out from, say, a cloud passing over the sun, battery keeps everything going. The other one is plugged into the Casita over here with this little special weatherproof plug, weatherproof 120 volt outlet with USB ports. And the reason this is on the front, I installed this, is because, well, we have the weather station here. And the weather station, it's self-powered by solar, has a tiny solar panel on it, but soon I'm going to have an air monitoring station connected to the mast directly below this weather station, and it will have to be powered by USB, so its cable will come down the pole and then plug into here. Now, of course, this will only be deployed when I'm at festivals and such, or doing educational programs, pretty much, well, really everywhere when I use the PoD. So from here we can see the array collecting solar energy right now, keeping the batteries charged, running everything. Everything is powered by the sun. That was the plan, wasn't it? Then coming back inside this awning system, we have our little cooking setup. I made some breakfast of vegan sausages. Here they are, cooling off. And this is, by the way, a solar table as well, made by Go Sun. If we needed it, we can plug that into batteries and other devices and charge them up on this table, but we don't really need it. We have so much solar on the roof. There's our little puppy, Tangy. Hey, say hello. And here we have our seating area. My wife Marion is doing her favorite thing of knitting. And above her head you can see the fan chugging away, keeping the interior cool. Below the fan we have this little setup here. This is the charging station I spoke about earlier. We've got EVSE in if we need to charge on a electric vehicle charging station at any time on the road to fill up the batteries. And then, of course, an outlet like the one I showed you earlier, a USB plug charging my phone, and then a 12 volt outlet as well in case we need to power anything by 12 volt. Now let's go inside. So inside you can see we haven't changed much since my last video, but we're using it. And we're using it basically the same way that it's going to be used when we do festivals, multi-day festivals. You know, one person will sleep here. So it's a small bed, you know, so my wife and the dog will sleep there. And then I will sleep on this little pallet down here. Of course, when I'm doing a festival by myself, we'll have the animals and they'll be stacked up here, and one of the coolers will be in the middle, and it would just be me on the bed at night. It's going to be an interesting adventure to see how all that works. We haven't even done that yet. But, oh yeah, here's the weather station, showing current conditions at the site. Over here we have the Servo GX interface showing us our battery state, which is 99% state of charge. We're making 1,200 plus watts of power charging the battery, only using 19 watts of AC and 33 watts of DC to run one of the two coolers and the cooling fan over here, and the lights and the weather station. That's it. It's 80 degrees in the solar electronics cabinet. The fans are most likely on already. Yep, cooling fans are on. Let's take a look inside. So last time you saw this was not finished. There was no door here. This door was not complete, so I'm sure it looks a lot better than it did. And I added these snaps for security when driving so the doors don't bounce open. And it looks basically the same on the inside. I installed a piano hinge for the hinge for that door and some magnets. And down here, unchanged. And we'll probably put some magnets on the inside of that door as well soon. And of course up here, unchanged as well. Bathroom. We've given it a good test and everything works. We are actually camping in the Great Smoky Mountains area. We're not in the park, but we're close. So the map bandana is applicable. So yeah, not much has changed in here, but let's go outside and look at the setup a little more. So we had some early morning sunshine, so we set up this nice little curtain to help block the sun until the sun gets a little higher, and then our overland vehicle systems awning, which we finally were able to deploy on this trip, it will start really coming into its own. We've used it for the last couple of days already on this trip, and it has been wonderful. It casts such a wide area of shade, and it's going to be perfect for when we start doing presentations at schools and camps and so on this summer. And it sets up in like 5 minutes. Takedown takes a little longer, but hey, it's worth it. Keep it set up for a while, and wow, that creates a really nice shade area to get folks out of the sun, out of the rain. And our tables will be in a different configuration when we are presenting at multi-day festivals and also just, multi-hour festivals. There'll probably be one table up against the wall where Marion's sitting. That one will have the animals on it, as well as maybe one more. And the pen that the dog is in now will be somewhere in the area in the vicinity with tortoises. That will be the tortoise adventure pen. Coming around this side, you can see we are connected into a private water source. And the water comes from up on that mountain on a spring box. It's totally spring fed, gravity fed spring water system that runs all the way down underground here. And we are taking advantage of that wonderful water. So this side of the pod we won't really be using for or during presentations, but it's where all the utilities hook up. As you can see, we have the fresh water coming in, city water connection, although in this case it's definitely not city water, it's country water. And the brass fitting to the lower right is a drain. The lowest point, it's the drain point for the entire water system for in winter and such. And then up here we have fresh water out if you want to fill up your mug or such, or your canteen. And then of course gray water and sewage. So this port is for shore power. So our shore power connection is in place, but it is not wired in yet. We're still waiting on a couple of components to get that connected, but it's not imperative at the moment since we make so much power with solar, and we can still power the Casita with 120 volts through a extension cord. But when this is complete, it will allow a 50 amp shore power connection, twist lock style, as you can see, and through an adapter, a 120 volt, 15 amp or so, 120 volt outlet connection as well. And then of course we have the water heater system here. Here's our water heater, which is no longer gas. As you can see, the gas has been removed, and it's 100% electric. No more 12 volt either. It's just 120 volt electric. And the final port is freshwater gravity feed. So if we're off grid and we don't have any city water, we can just gravity fill it up using a funnel or a hose, however you want to do it. And we haven't tried that really too much yet. Maybe we'll experiment with it later in this trip. And then up on the front of the Casita is the spare tire, mounted where the gas bottles used to be. And that's pretty much it. So this is basically how the pod will be set up at multi-day festivals. Although our tables will be in a little bit different arrangement. The animal pen will be in another arrangement, maybe a little closer to everything. And we will not have as much of the human accoutrements, you know, the cooking gear and all of that visible. It will be packed away and only used when needed. For short duration events, such as at camps and schools and such, the awning might not even need to be popped out. You know, if I can park it under trees where it's shady, there's no need to pull the awning out if it's a nice day. But if there's not, we'll pop the awning out and go from there with maybe one table with a microscope. And of course the microscope station isn't even in place yet. We will eventually have a flat screen monitor that can be mounted on the outside of the vehicle. Not sure about where I'm going to put that yet. And that will allow interface with a microscope, the weather station, and of course the air monitoring station when that's installed. Let's take a look at the setup from the air.
That's awesome! That's so cool!
That was fun.
I can't wait to see that video.
Thought I would come in and take a peek at the battery state. We are now full, 100%. Now how is that going to change when I turn on the air conditioning? Why don't we try that out? So as you can see, the wonderful Victron system, as soon as it detected that it needed more juice from the solar arrays, it pumped up the watts. And now we're kicking out over 1200 watts and coming in from solar, going to the battery, going to the DC, being inverted and going to the AC loads for the air conditioner. Only around 400 plus watts. Now if we were connected to an AC source, you would see the this section would be showing how much we were bringing in from an AC source, but we're not, since we're connected purely to the sun. And that's just cool. We're running on a fusion reactor 93 million miles away, plugged into the sun. Super cool, or super hot, depending on how you want to look at it. By the way, you shouldn't look at the sun, it might hurt your eyes. Let's take one more look at that wonderful Victron system. Here it is. We have yet to test out this system in the rain, so we do not know what to expect, but we hope that we're going to be okay with all these awnings and umbrellas and such, but I guess we'll find out. By the way, this is a Ghost Sun product as well. The Ghost Sun umbrella, which works with the Ghost Sun Chillest, the second cooler I was telling you about, the one on the right over there. It's pretty darn cool. That little solar panel as well is part of the Chillest system. I'll demonstrate that sometime. There's a lot of solar, as you can see. In fact, even the music is coming from solar. A little solar powered Bluetooth speaker. That's a little solar fan. Charging up for use. So that's it. That's how the system sits today. We will be improving it over the next few months and painting it. I believe I have chosen the paint, but I'm not 100% sure. I will be sharing more about that in the future. And yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has made this possible. This is an incredible adventure, and I'm glad to have you along for the ride on this incredible adventure, going wherever we go. And yeah, so I will be sharing more videos in the future of the system, how it works, even programming in the field. And yeah, look forward to more. The air conditioning's been running for about 10 minutes, and we're still at 100% on the battery, even though we're drawing 671 watts from the air conditioner. Solar's still beating that by a mile. Awesome. Now, it'll be interesting to see what happens on a overcast day, a rainy day, but today, we're making every bit of our power from the sun. That is cool. I just powered off the air conditioner to see how things would respond, and you can see we dropped back down to 19 watts on AC. 200 or 300 watts on solar, and we're still at 100% SOC on the battery. Okay, this is our first rainstorm in the pod. It's raining pretty hard out there right now. Pretty windy too. Look at the trees. Not quite sure what to expect. Are we going to have any leaks? Let's go take a look.
It does.
There's quite a bit of water coming between the Overland Vehicle Systems awning and the standard shade awning there. We've got a good funnel going here. That was one thing I read about with using these. You want to kind of create a little valley so that they can shed water nicely. Doing really well there. As well as all of the other areas of the awning. And back here on the Casita, we have a little bit of leakage coming down over the window, but that's not a big deal really. It's just very minor, and it's not a problem because it's running straight down. And then when it hits this little gutter here, it just sort of, I guess that'll run off eventually. Well, we have the weather station up there. That'll tell us how much rain we get in this little shower. That's going to be really neat. It sure is cooling it down nicely, though. It got up to about 85 today. I do see one thing that might be an issue here. See how this water is running down and then sort of leaking down along this seam? There's a seal behind there. Hopefully that seal will keep the water out. And of course I sealed this very heavily, but only time will tell. Luckily, the way this wall bows outward, the water will tend to run. It won't spray in. There's no way it can spray in, so it'll seep in and then run down the interior of the wall or drip down, and it misses all of the vital components. Whoa, that didn't miss a vital component. I backed into this waterfall, went right down my back. Anyway, so the water misses all the vital components of the Victron system, and you can hear our storm overhead. Well, this will be a good test of the seaworthiness of this door system. So let it rain for a while and then see what we find. And you can see up there where the rain's coming in. All right, going back inside now. Hey dog, what you doing? I know you don't like storms. It's a little creepy for you, isn't it? I'm sorry. Yeah. But in here it's nice and comfortable. Air conditioner set at 70 degrees. Still making 117 watts of power even in a storm. That's pretty cool. Too bad we can't capture lightning. Oh, you found a comfortable spot, didn't you? We had to give her a tranquilizer because she does not do thunderstorms at all. So it's raining pretty hard now. Thunderstorms are moving over our position. What kind of output are we receiving from the solar array? We're still making 89 watts of power even with the heavy rain. We are using more than we're making, but look at that, our battery state of charge is 98%. Amazing. We came through the storm without any leaks as far as I can tell. Storm's moving off in that direction. And we're getting some light from the sun filtering through the clouds. And as you can see from the servo screen, we are producing quite a bit of power still. Using a little bit more than we're producing, but that's to be expected after an event, an atmospheric event such as this. Let's take a look around the outside of the vehicle and see if everything looks to be in ship shape. The awning held up just fine, of course, it's solid. The solar panels got a really good washing, and that's really good. We really needed that. Had a lot of pollen on them. Have to check and see how much rain we got. I'll go inside and take a look at the weather station's console in a moment. Fairly dry underneath. There's a few areas you can see where rain ran down, but the solar modules are like a giant umbrella. A little bit came down here. This is the area that I'm worried about. But we only see here where the rain came in, not much at all, a few drips. So let's open things up and take a look inside and see if everything is dry. Does not appear to be any rain on the inside of the seal. Dry all the way around. On the bottom a little bit is here. Oh, there's some here. Now this did get inside. Not much, but did it go all the way in? You can see down here there's a little bit of water. Everything does look dry on the inside of the compartment. Oh, this is nice. Everything is totally dry. Oh, that's great. I was really worried about the system. Now, it didn't rain for, 45 minutes, torrential downpour. But this little test has given me hope that the system is going to be watertight and that our engineering worked. Let's take a look up here. Now, I can't see what it's seeing, but you can. I'm going to take a look now. Just reach up and feel the inside. Feels dry where all the rivets are. Yeah, all the rivets are dry. I really soaked it down with sealant. When I put this piece of diamond plate aluminum on, there's a lot of sealant in a band like this all the way across, coming down. So I guess it worked. Nice. That was the one thing that I was a little bit worried about, was this extremely sensitive equipment compartment leaking. And it looks like it passed, except for this little area we were talking about before. I might need to, maybe that just, let's see. How does that, oh, okay, good. That's all that was. The water that leaked down around the edge here just had gotten up on the seal. So I don't think it's anything to worry about. We'll see. No air conditioning is needed today because it's so cool. Our coolers are working perfectly. Hey, little dog. She doesn't like this weather at all. I will say that the awning system is incredible. Overland Vehicle Systems, you have done a great job in creating a wonderful awning that is strong and it doesn't leak. It funnels water off very nicely. It integrates well with other awning type devices. All we needed were some of these little clips, and we built us a little gutter system here that runs most of the water down and out on this end. So our test of the PoD for camping purposes, for instance, when we do our multi-day animal programs and animal nature and renewable energy programs, it's perfect. You know, there's a few tweaks we have to make in a few places, and of course the paint job. But after that, we're going to be ready to go. So, wow, what an amazing invention. Thank you, everyone out there who helped me make this possible. Without you, it could not have been done. Despite all that rain, we are still making more power than we're using. Close to an inch of rain today. And as you can see, we're almost to the middle part of the day with high sun, although we can't see any sun, but we are still making electricity. Don't need to use the air conditioner, 65 degrees outside. No need to use all that power up. It's around 7:45 on Saturday evening, and I'm out here cooking dinner in the GoSun stove, but there's no sun. How am I doing this? How am I cooking dinner in the GoSun stove? Well, I'll show you. So the GoSun doesn't need sun. I mean, it is a solar powered oven, right? But you don't need sun to use the GoSun. GoSun has a heating element underneath, and this cord runs all the way, all the way over here to this outlet on the side of the PoD, and this outlet is providing power to the heating coil on the GoSun stove. So in a very short time, the veggies will be nicely cooked, maybe about 3/4 of the way cooked, and then I will add the salmon. Down here we have some salmon that is thawing, has been thawing for a while, and it should make for a really nice salmon and veggie dinner. Meanwhile, let's take a look out here. The skies are very threatening, thunder all around, and my lightning tracker map is showing there's lightning all around us as well. Of course, if you have thunder, you're going to have lightning, right? Let's just hope it stays on the other side of the ridge. Because I have some cooking to do. Let's get down to business. The rain is starting. But luckily we have an overland vehicle systems awning, and that pop-up shade tent there. Hopefully between the two we will be mostly dry, aside from the little waterfall that comes down between the two here. I'll have to work on that. Due to the electrical storm outside, we decided to move our cooking indoors. We brought the gas stove inside and set it up on the counter where we would normally have the inductive cooktop. Decided to not use the inductive cooktop simply because it is supposed to rain all night and all day tomorrow, so we don't know how much solar production we're going to get. And so we're going to use the backup propane this time for cooking the salmon. Outside, the veggies are still cooking in the GoSun stove that I showed earlier, and then we're going to combine the two and have dinner later. But we're really beginning to see how our exhaust fan works really well when cooking indoors. It's drawing out all the fumes and moisture from the cooking salmon. That we're trying something unique here. We're cooking salmon all spiced up in tin foil, a little bit of water, and a frying pan. Let's see what it turns out like. Not really sure. It's kind of going to be poached. And then over here, there's how much we have in our battery. 96%. We're using 214 or 18 watts of DC power to run our two freezer refrigerators in the tow vehicle outside, and power the GoSun stove and run all the LED lights and fan. And then 81 watts of AC. Actually, that AC is what's powering the two GoSun chill coolers. But it is dark outside. The time now is around about 8 o'clock. It has gotten quite dark with the massive storms around us, and of course it is getting close to night. But it's been raining now for about 45 minutes. And we've had some pretty serious electrical activity in the atmosphere over the last few minutes, so that's why we decided to move inside. Right now it's kind of a calm between the storms, I believe, but there is a lot more coming. I am going back inside. We don't need this on, save power.
Just checking to make sure that was closed.
Nice thing is we don't need our air conditioner. It's the temperature outside has dropped quite a bit when the storms moved through and the sun went down, and so we're not going to need our air conditioner. Maybe not even tomorrow. The temperature is predicted to get in the 60s, high 60s, so we'll probably be fine with that. About 96% on our battery at about 20 after 8, and we will see it again in the morning and see how much we have for the projected dark rainy day ahead. And there's the finished product. Poached salmon and basically steamed veggies cooked in the GoSun stove. Time to eat. Most of the rains have passed through. It's calm for now. There's more rain coming. It's about 11 o'clock p.m. 92% state of charge. Using about 60 watts of DC and 22 AC to run those coolers out on the truck. Let's hit the sack and see where we stand in the morning. So this is the third morning of our camping adventure in the pod, and we woke up this morning and had about 82% of a charge in the battery, and weren't charging much at all for a couple of hours. But now that the sun's getting higher, it's around 10:30 I believe, we're actually making over 400 watts despite the fact that it's been raining and overcast all morning. Let's go take a look outside. Still raining, a nice steady soaking rain. The pod stayed dry last night, no leaks. We used the cooling fan to keep air circulating, kept the windows cracked. We did have one small leak in one of these windows, the window on the other side over there, but it stopped leaking. We'll probably reseal both of these, all three of these windows, just to be safe, just with some silicone. And as far as the solar electronics cabinet, I need to take a look in there and see how things look. Okay, looking inside, I see no water anywhere on the seal except for here at the bottom. And that is not a problem. A little bit over here as well. Just on the seal. Let me look inside. Everything is dry. That is very good. Very, very good. I'm going to feel on the inside. Nope, nice and dry. All the rivets are dry. Under here is dry. All right, we're good. I think this makeshift hatch door worked. That's a very good thing. All right. Well, hello, puppy. How you doing? Hey. What are you doing? What? What are you barking at me for? Uh-oh, don't bite that. That's a honeybee. You will be sorry if you bite that honeybee. There's a honeybee inside the pod. Oh boy. What is she doing? Strange little dog. So this gap is causing a little bit of an area of dampness here in the back of the pod. It's just because the awning does not go all the way up under the solar array, or at least close to it like I was hoping it would. And that might be something I can adjust. I need to call the company this week and find out, the company that makes this Overland Vehicle Systems awning. But, you know, it's not a big deal. It works great. So we're making 150 watts of power or more, and we're only using about 19 watts on the AC side and 42 on the DC side. So we're definitely making more than we're using. So hopefully we'll be able to fill that battery up by the end of the day. But we're also still in low power mode, you know, just being very conservative about what power we do use. Got all the lights turned off. I'm just sitting outside reading because it's pouring the rain. Not much else to do today. But it is really nice that the Casita is dry. We have found no leaks. other than that one window I talked about earlier, and it is not leaking anymore. It was leaking under here. And it's totally dry, so that's good.